All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are live once again with two men in black and white, an honest conversation. Wow, it just gets worse every day. This dementia ridden fool, this brain dead moron can't even pronounce some of the ingredients that he'd like to ban and tell doctors what they can and cannot use based on a bunch of BS science. It is getting beyond ridiculous, but it is Tuesday, and Tuesday night Jimmy Kimmel returns, but he was dealt a little slap in the face, and now we got a little power struggle going on here. All right, let's talk about it. Brock Ganeles joins me now live from up in the beautiful confines of the Hudson River Valley. And, Brock, it's interesting, Nexstar, Sinclair, they want to, pull this power struggle on ABC. What happens when the money doesn't come in? Does ABC go find other affiliates? Because it's all about the dollar. This has nothing to do with your self-righteous stance that you're taking against Jimmy Kimmel because you were butthurt behind some comments that Mr. Kimmel might have. What he said wasn't even that bad. It was ridiculous. And he was clowning actually the clown prince himself, the Trumpster, for being the ultimate chump, pretending to care about Charlie Kirk, and he didn't. It's a joke.
Well, we got a little battle royale shaping up, right? You got Disney with the ABC against the affiliates. I think, among other things, America learned about their local affiliates and who owns them and the politics behind the Sinclair and Nexstar, and that they're being fed right-wing talking points every night that maybe they hadn't even realized. Because who knows who owns your local affiliate, right? I don't know who owns the local affiliate up here. It's probably Sinclair, but I don't really watch the stations. But it's not something you just know. But now we know, right? Yep. Baltimore and D.C. apparently not showing Kimmel. I know Seattle not showing Kimmel. I'm sure there's many more. It's probably most regions aren't showing it. So the ratings are going to be down. They're going to show local news instead, like more local news. Like, I don't know how much local news they have in the queue ready to go, but their ratings are going to be terrible, right? At 11:30 at night, who's going to be watching the news, right? So
you've already seen it.
I feel like everyone's economics are going to get hurt, but I don't care if Sinclair loses money with this fight that they're going to have with Disney. Disney's already lost the fight. Disney can't go back now and resuspend Kimmel.
No, absolutely.
They lost. We don't even know how many subscriptions they lost. We don't even know how many cancellations at Disney World they've gotten or for cruises. Saw one TikTok today, a woman canceled like a wedding or some $150,000 event at Disney World. And I also saw what was surprising to me was particularly a lot of clips of black people who were canceling Disney.
Really?
In fact, I ended up watching like a whole YouTube on it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 45 different people saying why they're canceling Disney. The whole free speech thing, you would know the pulse of the black community better than me, but I just watched 45 different clips of people who said they were canceling. The free speech thing just really pissed them off. They don't care about Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think any of them really watched Jimmy Kimmel, but they just didn't like the idea that Disney was telling a comedian what he could or could not be saying in his jokes. And it just triggered something.
Well, we've been there before in the black community, right? Let's go back to the 80s. When, our own clergy was vilifying hip hop and rap music, and Luke and the Two Live Crew and NWA, this is the late 80s, early 90s, and talking about how risque and provocative the music was, and it just wasn't appropriate. And then move right into the early 90s, we get the 92 crime bill from President Clinton, right? Leading the charge was Joseph Robinette Biden, and that skyrocketed the prison population numbers. Now, it may seem like a leap from free speech to mass incarceration, but it's not really that much, because they used free speech, right, to help fill up these prisons, right, and help young black kids think that they were going to be gangsters and want to be gangsters, because that's the only music that these record companies and these record executives wanted to sign. So, we've been there before. We've seen this before. Remember, Dr. Martin Luther King was considered a communist, right? He was under FBI surveillance for most of his adult life once he started speaking out against the horrors of Jim Crow and the way the African American was treated in the South and the lack of voting rights and the black and white drinking fountains and lunch counters, right? So, it's once you take away free speech, man, you can just line up a whole bunch of other rights that go bye-bye, and it's not that much of a leap. And trust me, we know about it in the black community because we felt it, right? And, and oftentimes in the black community, you're not allowed to speak up, right? How many times have I been in an editorial meeting and had a point to make, but just chose to ignore it and not speak up for fear of being labeled, as not a team player or as someone who is always going against the tide, right? If you ever read the book Rage of a Privileged Class by Ellis Coase, I know I'm telling you to read something again, Brock, but the Rage of a Privileged Class was a bunch of successful African American executives in corporate America, and almost all of them talked about their unwillingness to speak up. And they were the successful ones. So imagine how you feel in the middle rungs, right? Middle management, or trying to work your way up the ladder, right? I mean, it really does ring a bell with black folks for many reasons, but those are some that I can directly relate to.
Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of people saying like, look, it felt great to stop shopping at Target, and they're like they're literally celebrating the cancellation of like their Disney Plus. And
Yeah.
it's going like, you know what? Nope. And one was really funny where they're like, oh, Mickey and Minnie, those two rodents can go cry in the corner, like calling them like rats instead of mice. It was really funny. Yeah, I guess it surprised me a little bit that because I thought it was going to be mostly a white uprising because Kimmel's pretty much white male audience, right? He used to have the
Right.
Man Show, of all the
Right.
comedians, he's like, the most mainstream white guy. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure it was more than just black people. A lot of white people canceled their Disney Plus as well,
Sure.
enough that the the company buckled relatively quickly, right? Like
Yeah.
5, 6 days. But there's no going back for them. They can't they can't suspend or fire Kimmel again. It would be an onslaught. They just got a taste of what could happen. So I don't know how Sinclair thinks they're going to win this battle against Disney now, unless they're just going to say we don't want the programming and we don't care about the extra money it brings in, and
Right.
we just get a fissure between broadcasting companies, which, fine by me. I don't care. I love to see Sinclair, bleed.
Right. But, and here's the thing, Brock. I'm often asked the question because I worked in the media for so long, don't you care about your audience? No, we don't. We care about the money the eyeballs generate. That's what it's about. It's about money. It's never been about the audience. It's been about the money. I remember when during the 2008 housing crisis and, the economy went belly up, we had 60% of our ad revenue coming from auto dealerships. Who do you think was the first ones to cancel their commercial spots, right? The sales guys were hurting for certain because it's all about the money. It's all about the money. It's never about the audience. It's not about programming. It's about the money. We'll program whatever people will watch. So I'm anxious to see what happens in the Seattles, the DCs, the Baltimores, where these big Sinclair stations are, well-known Sinclair stations in the industry, right? I mean, you've really got to have an established television group to get into major markets like this, right? I want to see how many people write in, call in, because there's no more news to be seen at 11:30. You've seen it already on your phone by 6 p.m., right? And people who are watching the late news are people who, stay up late because they don't have to get up early or they're on the third shift, right? They're not going to watch an extra half hour of news or an extra hour of news. How long is Kimmel's show? An hour, right?
Yeah,
11:30
it's
to
an hour.
12:30? Yeah, they're
It's an
not
hour.
watching that. Another hour of local news? You're going to put your anchors on till 12:30 in the morning? I don't think so. You're going to run tape? Here comes our previous.
Rerun of the news. Yeah, the guy heard
Yeah.
about that shooting yet again. Uh, yeah, I mean, okay, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't think Disney made any moral decision, right? Disney was like, we got to suspend Kimmel because Sinclair's threatening us. Then it's like, shit, we're getting these cancellations at all our properties across the board, way more than ABC. Everything's being negatively impacted now. Fuck Sinclair. We got to put Kimmel back on, and we got to lose the Sinclair dollars versus the big dollars that we're losing everywhere. So then they just made a business decision and put Kimmel back on, which is why it was such a fraud, all those jokers on the right saying that Kimmel was suspended because of the ratings. Oh, really?
Right.
But 6 days later of being off the air, I guess his ratings got better and now they want him back on. Come on. It was a total lie. Same as they said about Colbert. Oh, yeah, really? Colbert's gone because he's losing them too much money? Stop that bullshit.
And Brock, like you smartly pointed out yesterday, it's all about the streaming dollars right now, right? That's money you don't even have to work for, right? Every month, nobody's paying attention to that $15.99 coming out of their Discover card, right? That's easy money, right? And that's what keeps things afloat, right? That's what allows them to make more of those movies, right? Those Disney movies that are so expensive to freaking make, right? That's what gives them that insane library that they have that, like you said, we export all over the world. It's not, again, it's not going to be about Sinclair when it all comes down to it. It's like, where's the money, right? Where is the money? Where's the money we can afford to lose? Oh, the local affiliates, fine. We can't afford for people to be canceling $150,000 events on our
Not going
ship,
on our cruises,
on our
not showing up
properties,
at Disney World, not going to showing up at Disney World.
right? And the numbers are already down for tourism, right? So Disney's hurting. People come to the USA to go to Disney, right? Now they're probably going to head off to Euro Disney, right? I wouldn't come here, especially brown people are not coming here. Well-to-do brown people in Europe, I I wouldn't take a chance. Not with my kids and my family.
Certainly wouldn't go to
Just to go to
Florida. Wouldn't go to
Disney.
Florida, that's for damn sure.
Shit, no. Hell no. And the place is a mess,
Well,
right?
to put a bow on this one, it'll be interesting to see how volatile Kimmel is tonight, how aggressive he goes
That's what
in
I'm waiting
his
for.
commentary. I mean, I think I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. This is like a legacy or career moment for him.
Yep.
More eyes will be on him tonight than
Than
he'll
ever
ever
before.
have before or after in his career. So he has the chance to make a huge mark and, in essence, make a great reputation for himself or blow a reputation. That
Right.
will be I'll be interested in what the ratings are. They're probably going to be huge. I think there's a huge curiosity factor.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of pressure on him to not wimp out, basically.
Yeah.
Like, certainly his peers, at the least, expect him
Brock.
to come, talking some serious shit tonight. And
Yeah,
be funny, but funny in a real biting way.
Yeah. Before we move on, think about the big names that came out. Letterman, Colbert, Cynthia Nixon,
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern came out hard.
Hey, came out
Hey,
hard.
Tom
Rich-
Hanks, Jennifer Aniston, like they had a big letter from the union.
Yep.
You had
Austin Lane.
Olivia Rodrigo refused to go to a premiere for a movie that was going to do a red carpet event, and they
Right.
ended up canceling the red carpet event.
The producer
because
of Lost said,
they
"I'll
wouldn't
never
go."
work with you guys again."
Yeah, so he got a lot of support. He's going to have to
Yep.
return it in spades tonight with a really.
He's
He's going to have a
go
really
hard
big, impressive
in the
performance
paint.
tonight.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he can move the needle tonight.
Yeah,
He can help the opposition, the anti-Trump America tonight. with a
Right.
really rousing performance. I hope he comes through.
And Brock, it shouldn't take much. The poll numbers, crime and immigration, he's down to like, 40% approval, right? The economy, 30% approval, right? Like he's underwater on everything. It shouldn't take that much for us to get up and say, you know what, fuck this guy. We got to get rid of this guy. We can't do another 37 months with this nonsense, 36 months, whatever it is. This dude's off his fucking rocker. I mean, did you hear him today? First of all, he couldn't pronounce acetaminophen. Then he's embarrassing us on the world stage at the UN. What the hell was that? Telling people, oh yeah, your countries are all going to hell. What? He is no kind of statesman. I saw a meme today and it was Trump reading the book, Presidency for Dummies. And it made so much sense. The guy has no clue how to be in the office and how to man the position. It just speaks to how low the bar has become in the US. It's really sad.
Yeah, he had a bad day today.
Woo!
The RFK decision, just from a medical point of view, this whole Tylenol, acetaminophen thing it's absurd. And doctors left and right are speaking out. I commend them all over the place. TV doctors and real ones, right? Are coming out and just saying, do not listen to this idiocy. Do what's best for your body, because none of the facts lined up to the announcement that was made. But Trump bungled the announcement. He looked like a guy who couldn't speak. So that was bad. But to me, the UN speech, and I can't say I listened to the whole thing, but I watched a bunch of the clips on it. And he was just a dementia-ridden old man, a grumpy old man. Like that Clint Eastwood movie where he's on his porch yelling at the Mexican kids next door. So he was like a dementia-ridden version of Clint Eastwood at the beginning of the movie, right? He kind of learns lessons throughout the movie. But at the beginning, he was complaining about the linoleum floors, that they're not marble, that the elevator. He was talking about literally real estate for a while before he got into insulting all the other countries. And like when he's talking about immigration, who do you think other people are that are coming in? They're people from these countries. Like he can't even connect those dots of human beings and the human connection between human beings. He really embarrassed America on the world stage. MAGA won't give a shit. MAGA won't give a shit. But today felt even a little bit worse, like a little more dementia-ridden. It's like it's gotten just not. It's always been bad, like just a little bit worse, like even a little more divorced from reality.
Right.
That was my read.
And, the thing about it is, no one is willing to step in and say, hey, Donnie, let's sit this one out, babe. You're not prepared. Because he never prepares for anything, Brock. He's never prepared for anything. I think it's the first time he's seen this stuff when he steps up to the podium. I mean, it's always a shit show with this guy. And
Mark,
I can't.
let me jump in. Just think, there's somebody writing this shit for him.
Right?
He's got these speech writers, and they're writing this. I guess it's Stephen Miller and some other fucking racist fuckers. They believe this shit. They're putting it in front of Trump. He's happy to say it.
Right. He just can't execute.
He can't execute it. He can't even say. Yeah, he just sounds like a dithering idiot, even saying those words.
Right. In turn, making us look bad, making us look weak and incompetent. And I am shocked, Brock, that there hasn't been some sort of coordinated attack on our sovereignty. Like, I'm shocked there hasn't been, more Russian. Well, Russia's got their hands full with Ukraine. But I'm shocked there hasn't been like an attack on a power grid or an attack on our monetary system, because nobody's manning the fort.
Mark, maybe. What did they say? Like, they watch us drowning. So like they're like, we don't need to do anything. Like he's just going to go, let him go under. Like they may worry that if they do something to shock the system, there may be a change. And as it stands now, we're self-inflicted wounds. So like let America keep fucking itself up. At least that's what like a China and Russia and our adversaries are thinking, right? They're just sitting back watching us get weaker, and just by us getting weaker, they're getting stronger on the international stage. I mean, China is the biggest beneficiary of this whole Trump fucking debacle.
Right.
They're closer to India now. They're making the economic deals that we've lost. They're flexing their muscle throughout the whole Southeast corridor, right? They're just incrementally gaining stature on the national stage, making more alliances. In Europe, they're as trusted as we are now. So instead of us being the great partner and China being the enemy, we're kind of viewed both as kind of enemies. Europe doesn't trust us.
Right. Why should they? With
You
this,
think today helped?
yeah, exactly. With this banana republic and this clown car cabinet, I mean, you know, and the thing about every day the media pisses me off more and more because they just refuse to cover these debacles truthfully. Imagine if President Obama had done these things. Do you realize what kind of, fault lines would have been triggered? Because, geez, the guy wore a tan suit and we thought we should get the gallows out and hang him.
There would have been impeachment talk for today's speech alone. Just
Oh my
today's
God,
speech
yes.
would have had impeachment talk.
Absolutely.
There's no way a president could go on the national stage and speak like that. It would be bubbling up. It would be all anyone talking about for the
Right,
next 24, 48, 72 hours.
right.
And
Not to
instead, it was
mention,
a blip on the radar. Most of America's not even going to see the clips. It
right,
won't even get talked about.
right. Not to mention, the constant lying and making up of shit of stats. This clown tried to say that 1 in 10 children today are autistic. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? You're telling me 10% of kids are autistic? And then, but they got people out there that are going to swallow that up and say it's true and think it's true. How frightening is that? I
Two
mean, I
days
don't have
ago, he
school
talked.
age kids, but Jesus,
I mean,
this is
wasn't it 2 days ago?
ridiculous.
They said there were like 300 million drug
Right?
overdoses,
Drug
right? And we
overdose.
only have 340 million people in the country. I mean, drug prices are going to go down 1,400%. I mean, anytime a number or statistic is thrown out, it's almost always something that's so absurd that it can't even get into the realm of like a math equation. But that's not the standard that the media has put on Trump. He doesn't have to say things that are in any way in the
Even
realm of
remotely.
reality, and his followers don't care because they're getting their racism. They're just happy that ICE cracked a few more heads today, that ICE like lured a 5-year-old autistic child onto the street and wouldn't like kind of let the kid in the house until the father came out so they could snatch him, right? That's what our mass marauders are doing. Tricking autistic
Right.
kids to scare parents into coming out of their houses so that they can get abducted and thrown in concentration camps and shipped to El Salvador. They're using the
Right.
little kid as a pawn. I mean, that's what our national services are doing out there on the streets. And that, I mean, Trump's polling sucked, right? The last Ipsos whatever poll had his numbers go down again, but I'm still amazed. Like his approval still had something like 39%. I'm like, seriously? 39% of America actually approves of this fucking moron still?
Four
Still?
out of 10. That's 4 out of 10.
4 of them are watching this shit and saying, okay, this is the America I want.
Good.
This guy's got
Yeah.
us on the right track.
This is
Finally, like
good.
finally, we're on the right track.
Yeah,
He
they're
saved
suggesting
us.
this is good. This is really good. I'm liking this. What are you fucking watching? Right? I just, and some people say it with such conviction, Brock, that he's such an amazing person. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're
Yeah.
definitely like, I'm convinced now it's a cult. Like, you drank the Kool-Aid, whatever, you got hit with the, Men in Black stick, flashlight thingy, something is wrong. Because to think that this is the America that we've known and loved? What kind of America is it where we can't even be, where we're getting the wrong information on science and health? It makes me literally not want to live here, bro. The fact that RFK is still in that job and passing out, you know, just blatantly false information based on some ideology. Has nothing to do with science, just has to do with a feeling or a worm on the brain. Like, this has nothing to do with actual science. We're not trying to make any breakthroughs anymore. We're not trying to get healthier. We're not trying to have a better quality of life. You know, and until you have some sort of medical ailment and you walk into the doctor's office and they tell you that this is it, then that's when it'll hit you. That's when it'll hit you. Why are we doing this? We could have been working on something that might have fixed me. Shit. I mean, it is what it is. And you voted for it, so now suck it up.
Yeah, the rolling along with RFK and the craziness in the healthcare is just the one piece of the puzzle that doesn't fit into the rest of the narrative to me, which is that people are just so in love with their racism and their xenophobia and feeling like they, you know, run shit around here, that they're willing to swallow almost everything. And then they've allowed, you know, American Christianity has just become a political party and in essence a white supremacy social order. So they've kind of tied it in with their religion. Maybe that is where the RFK shit comes into play about people's self-determination. But yeah, his piece of the puzzle still seems a little odd to me because people are just going to die and they're not going to get treated for shit that they should have. And like, I'm just not quite understanding why we as a country are accepting his lunacy. He doesn't even come across, he's not dynamic, he's not charismatic, he sounds like an idiot. I'm not sure why we're buying into him, or is it just because he's Trump's guy? You know, the Trump factor outweighs how absurd he is, and he's just a part of it's a package deal, right? He's like getting Fox News with your cable package. It just comes along with it. So RFK is just coming along with MAGA right now, so you accept him.
Right.
That's the only way I can kind of explain it. I mean, they're accepting a lot. They're accepting Kash Patel. They're accepting, you know,
Bongino,
Tom Homan, and you know, you're accepting a lot of incompetence just to get Trump and his world, his vision of a world order. I mean, this is white supremacy is a failure, but unfortunately, America wants to continue to experiment with it.
We'd rather fail than have diversity. Imagine being afraid of diversity but not of a dictatorship. Because that's what we're more afraid of diversity than we are the dictatorship, which is a sad commentary.
Yeah, pretty much explicitly. I mean, you'll have people, MAGA rank and file will definitely say that they prefer authoritarianism and taking away their freedoms, that they're fine with that relative to, like, quote, the border or crime, which we know is like basically code word for Latinos and black people, right? Yeah. The border and crime. Okay. Now you just told us everything we need to know about, you know, your vision of America. Is it declining though a little bit? Maybe? Well, I mean, a little bit?
You like to think so.
We're 1 month away. I know we're going to hop. We're 1 month away from that next No Kings rally.
Okay.
October 24th. It feels like miles away.
Oh my God.
But that event, because that's the next big one, not that something organic can't pop up in the interim, that has to be the largest mass movement in American history. That day, everyone has to be like, you have no excuse. Like, the peer pressure has to be massive. That no one has any excuse for not getting your ass out on a street somewhere, because there will be a march within spitting distance of every one of us.
Right.
We have to be out there.
Absolutely. And again, you know, it's not what we would prefer, because we'd rather be in the Capitol.
Everybody in D.C.
Right. And that's the problem, because, you know, you can't go down to the office and squeal on the bully when he's down in the lunchroom. You got to do it in his face, right? You got to tell on him face to face so he sees you don't have any fear of him anymore.
Well,
So
maybe on the 24th, we can get just huge numbers to DC.
that would
That
be nice.
maybe that can be like the epicenter
That would be
and
huge.
still have, hundreds of other marches throughout the country.
Right. That would be bigly. All right, buddy. That's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Rack it up
Yeah.
one more again.
You're going to be out fishing tomorrow, or what's going on tomorrow? What do you have?
We're going to be on the pontoon boat on the Gulf of, well, is it the Gulf of America or the Gulf of Mexico?
Oh, you're out in the Gulf of Epstein files?
Yes,
The
indeed.
Gulf of Release the Files? Okay, be safe out there.
Absolutely. We'll keep you posted.
I hope the Coast Guard's patrolling further south.
Me too. I don't want any, stray freaking destroyer bombs coming at us. Good Lord. Especially a boat full of brown men. That could be a problem. Yikes. We look
Good
like
luck out
drug
there. Good luck out there. All right, Mark, always a pleasure. Talk to you
Always a
tomorrow.
pleasure, buddy. Peace.